my way. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Yes. Where the hell is my camera? All right, baby. Almost there. Let's get this hot dog on. Yes. Get ready to party. It's the greatest live stream in the history of live streams, people. Let's do it. All right, am I starting off too silly? All right, I apologize. I apologize. I'm sorry, chat room. I started the show off too silly, and that was wrong of me, and I should take this all very, very seriously. The important thing when people feel anxious or afraid, especially when they feel anxious and afraid for no good reason, the important thing is to follow them in that anxious fear, placate it, create a space for it, allow it to linger, fester even, and take, you should dive into, when they're worried, you should go, I have the solution to worry right over here, but let's not do that right now. Let me just reinforce your worry for no good reason. And so that's why I'm here today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hal Sparks. This is Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. It's a very serious live stream, and there's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, why this live stream is as popular as it is. It's huge. There's a hype train right out of the gate, and I don't think that's appropriate. Twitch, please do not throw together a bunch of hype trains just because. Don't reinforce this behavior, honestly. By the way, for those of you who haven't guessed, I'm going as Arnold Palmer for Halloween, and I just want to. I'm sorry, that was wrong as well. I'm back. I'm normal me. Hi. Doesn't my normal face look weird after something like that? Now, I'm kidding. Back to the other Arnold Palmer. I'm Arnold Palmer the cowboy. Woohoo! Sorry. Okay. Can I, if I may, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc., etc. I have to open up my Notion notes for this one because I'm pissed off, people. I'm angry. I'm fed up. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, ladies and gentlemen, if I may. And that's because there has been, let's see, where's the search thing on this dang nabbit thing? There is I think it's in my politics folder. Yes, here we go. Immigration. Did I not spell it right? What's happening? Politics. There we go. There is there are some lies that I gotta say we don't have time to cover. There are some lies, ladies and germs, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and jerks, that somehow we just let them float. Now and by the way, hi chat room. I don't want to make you feel like you've been ignored during this part. I appreciate you. And for those of you that are super chatting and supporting the show, bless you, thank you. And if I ever miss thanking you, it's because I'm busy doing the actual show that you are supporting me in doing. And I think you'll understand. Also, I do not do the thing where I only read super chats where people pay. I just read the parts of the chat that might be up while I'm talking so that people can't just buy their way to the front of the conversation. That's not how I work. And so some sites do that. Some shows only read their super chats or only discuss things with people who can buy their way to the front of the line. I don't think that's right. I'm not going to avoid doing them, but I'm not going to carve out special time because I'm here to do a show. Not if I do an AMA at some point, believe me, we'll have plenty of time on the all-night live stream that we're doing for Election Day to ask me all kinds of crazy questions. I have no doubt. All right, now. There is a lie. There's a lie. And it's being perpetuated repeatedly in Trump world. And I want to bring it up. Normally it's one of those things where I would almost use it reactively. But I feel like we've been kind of dragging on dealing with this. And it would be this one in particular, ladies and gentlemen. It's the story of how 325,000 children went missing. That are either trafficked or dead or both, because apparently there's a big market for South American kid corpses in, I guess, Texas. That would seem to be so. By the way, I love following the lie to the ad absurdum, but the idea is that in Mexico and Arizona and Southern California, namely, of course, Orange County and San Diego, big hotbeds of liberalism, you may have heard, that there's a huge market for dead Mexican kids. For what I will leave that up to them, right? But the idea is that there's 325,000 of them, and they're missing, and they've been lost since, I don't know, whenever. But it's all Kamala and Biden's fault. Now, how did that shit start? Well, it started with this lady. She was saying in fiscal year, where is it going? We'll play it. See if she can play I guess not. Hold on. Back up, lady. Scoot. In the fiscal year 2024, there's been 74,000 unaccompanied children that have come across the border. In 2023, get this number, 137,275. The Joe Biden administration has lost 80,000 of them. Okay, no one can track, no one knows where they're at least much more. At least there's probably more, but at least that many. Okay, this is, by the way, I would like to remind you, this is the, sorry, you can't see where she's reading this, where I'm getting this from, but. So she's saying 80,000 are missing from that year, 137,000 or 37,000 come across. They've lost 80,000 in total of these folks. Now, where do you get the 80,000 number? Okay, well, the number 80,000, will you commit to finding those children? He's like, yes, I haven't been asked that question, but the answer is yes. It's a simple answer. Many of them are dead. They have done such a bad job. I guess the kids are doing a terrible job at staying alive. Now, where did this refer to? Okay, so under government protocols, the children, once apprehended by border officials, are placed in the care of Health and Human Services Department of Refugee Resettlement Office. The office then releases the children to sponsors, sometimes family members, who undergo a background check. The New York Times reported last year that the office, which checks on the children via phone calls, was unable to reach 85,000 children, or at least a third of the cases in 2021 and 2022. The Times did not report that the children were lost, but that they were more susceptible to exploitative and illegal working conditions. Now, unable to reach means get them on the phone, that the people that they called hung up the phone or did not answer. Now, we want to talk about landlines versus cell phones versus calling numbers you know versus calling numbers you don't versus the propensity for people who are undocumented to not answer the phone in a house of people who are here for asylum status hearings and that kind of shit, right? That in and of itself is a long fucking conversation. After this article was published, Fox News said that the use of the word lost was an issue of semantics and not factual inaccuracy. Then Railing against President Biden's border policies, he added that the children are now dead. If it were me, it would be the biggest story. In fact, when Trump was in office, the administration also tried to contact and was unable to reach thousands of migrant children who had left the refugee office's care. There's no evidence that thousands of children died under either Biden or Trump. Under Trump, the Health and Human Services Department could not reach 19% of migrant children, about 1,500, who were placed with sponsors from October to December 2017. That's just 1,500 from October to December in 2017. Couldn't reach 19% of them. Or 11% of the children to their sponsors August 2018 to December 2020. And about 9,200 calls. In comparison, Biden administration officials testified to Congress that 19% of the refugee office's calls to the children were unanswered. That does not mean the kids are gone. That does not mean that they are lost or dead or sold or any of that. It means someone goes, "Hi, can I speak to Consuela?" Click. When Democrats accused the administration of losing unaccompanied children, the health department said in 2018 that those claims were completely false and that sponsors simply did not respond or could not be reached when this voluntary call was made. This is when we talked about the 800 children initially that Trump lost and that they never found again, or the increased number of that, right? This is just a replay of that story, right? Okay. Now, at the time, the Trump administration officials said there were various reasons why sponsors of children might not pick up the phone. They may be hesitant to answer calls from unknown government agents, especially if they have unauthorized status or fear traffickers. Sponsors may simply have different phone numbers. That was the other thing. So we'll open that in another link. They lost the actual number that they had. Here's what's really happened to the 1,500 missing children. This is 2018. This goes to, in the past few days, been a lot of emotion about it. Lost track of 1,500 immigration children and the confusion about whether or not they were at the border. Blah, blah, blah. Know that 1,500 children weren't necessarily taken from their families at the border. In May, they started enacting a 100% prosecution policy at the border, which would refer any crossing the border illegally for federal prosecution. That's the Stephen Miller plan that made everybody who crosses the border illegal, even if they cross the border accidentally while trying to run from, a wild animal. It doesn't matter. This policy functionally separates children from their families. People revisited the claim by Steve Wagner, top official of Health and Human Services, during a hearing in April, was unable to determine the certainty of the whereabouts of 1,475 unaccompanied alien children. Some people began to conflate Wagner's, I'm so used to doing the Wagner group, Wagner's comment and the new policy, forming the idea that children were forcibly separated from their families at the border, then lost. Okay, so the important part is that they're not lost. They're unreachable because people don't want to pick up the phone. I don't doubt that some of them are lost, and we need to take great care in making sure. But it's not 325,000. It's not 80,000. Oftentimes it's the same 80,000 calls, like the households and sponsors made over again, and they don't answer the second call for the same reason they don't answer the first call, and they're not gone, and it's the same person. So you're counting the same person 3 times. Why do I bring that up? Because Donald Trump had a meeting today, had a round table. That's what this is, with a bunch of he's in Doral. At his golf course in Florida, in Miami, and he had a Latino roundtable. So this is him doing this thing. Oh, shit. And this is going to be one of those things where it doesn't want to play the audio from this. I don't know why that is. So we'll jump over here to this guy, and we'll throw this thing in here. Paste and go. There we go. And let's see. It might be, I dismiss. There we go. Whoops. Get out of the way, you silly thing. Why would that be? Am I having an issue with audio? I am, aren't I? So weird. All right, hold on. I've got to shut my software and open up another piece of software so that I can play stuff for you guys. Give me a second, chat room. See if I can remedy this. I have 3 of those. Let's go to Chrome, see if Chrome starts acting normal. Normally we don't have an audio issue with Chrome, but it's my feedback issue with the other stuff. Okay, here we go. Paste and go. Yeah, okay, so now we hear him. Jesus. Okay. For whatever reason, two of my browsers do not want to send audio anymore. But we'll figure that out later. I'll handle it. But right now, we're good. And let's go back to this. So this is him gathering, they're playing the thing. I'm sad that they don't have a Spanish language version of this shit here. And he walks out. Now, it's an important thing. Trump walks out and shakes hands with this lady, and then he shakes hands with this lady. Now, see this lady right here? Her name is Christine or Christina. She works at Doral. She runs Doral. He just shook hands with her. His seat is right there, and he's going to shake hands with this guy who produced Sound of Freedom, that bullshit movie that conflated a story of two American kids as if one of them, the girl, had been abducted and sent down to South America, and the Navy SEALs went and got her, or wouldn't go get her, so that this independent dude went down, which is all horseshit. Sound of Freedom was completely, it was absolute fiction. Borrowing the stories, it wasn't even, again, two kids, a boy and a girl, older boy, younger girl, or no, older girl, younger boy. The boy was the one being molested by the landlord that she was renting from, that the mother was renting from, that allowed him to do it because she was afraid of having to leave the country. The daughter was never molested by the guy, and they were rescued inside the United States. So never left the country, never were shipped out of the country, never were trafficked out of the country, which is even more fucked up than the story about them trafficking them into the country. Just bullshit, okay? Your dad believes the movie. Your dad has been bullshitted into a corner. Nurse Meow. Hold on. Where is it? Magoo. Yeah. Nurse Meow says my dad believes that movie. Yeah, it's bullshit. It is just, and it's like, it's so inverted, it's fucked up. Like, you take a serious issue like sexual assault on that scale and child molestation, and then you kind of go, yeah, but it's not terrible enough. How do we blame brown people for it? It's fucking racist, and it's racist against the Hispanic and Latino community more than anybody, because it creates this idea that Latino mothers are okay with it on some weird level, and that there's this huge appetite for it or normalization of it in South America. Like, it's gross, but somehow these people don't fucking give a shit at all. So he shakes hands with Christina and this dude, and then walks down here. He goes down, and then after he's done shaking hands and pointing at people, wandering around while the fucking song plays, he walks right back by Christina and sits down at the thing. Okay. Also, he looks at the lady to his right. And okay, also, it's a weird gathering of evangelical Latinos, almost specifically, all of whom seem to have a membership to Doral.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. Great honor. I just saw a poll that we're actually leading with Hispanics. That's never happened before.
No, he's not.
I don't know, but
I don't know, because the people that are showing it to me are always telling me bullshit polls. So I will keep saying this so we can use the idea that I was ahead in the polls for my belief that it was stolen later.
I don't know, but it's going to be close. I mean, she's sleeping right now. She couldn't go on the trail. You think when you have 14 days left, you wouldn't be sleeping.
Oh, by the way, she's sitting vice president of the United States, but and she's actually getting briefings and doing all kinds of stuff like that. She's not campaigning today, but she's campaigning elsewhere. And he's campaigning, by the way, by them throwing together this like fillet the fool fest at this Latinos for Trump roundtable, which is all just Miami Doral members and evangelicals that are a drive from his fucking house. It's so weird. Like, he's back in Florida defending, by the way, Florida territory, because he's losing ground there. So that's the other reason. But even when he does it, he doesn't go like down to fucking Key West. You don't see him in the fucking Panhandle. Do you ever notice that? You ever notice when Trump does shit in Florida, it's always like, it's either his own golf course either Doral or his international club near the airport at Mar-a-Lago or Jeffrey Epstein's house. Like, he doesn't drive anywhere but those 4 fucking places. But has he ever done anything in like the southern tip of Florida? Has he ever gone all the way down to Key West to do an event, or gone up to the Panhandle, which is closer to, Alabama and shit? Like, no, because he didn't give a fuck, and he believes they'll vote for him anyway.
I think she's not doing anything today.
Also, what the fuck is this idea? Like, he needs a nap really bad, so that's what he fixates on. Why the fuck would he think she's sleeping? She's working. It's really weird.
Take one of that. We've gone 52 days.
By the way, you notice he almost says right there, I could take a day off. I want to take one of those, but
she's not doing anything today. I should take one of that. We've gone 50.
See that? He needs a nap. That's what he's saying.
52 days in a row, and I'm going 14 more days, and we're going to have a big victory party, hopefully, and we're going to turn our country around. We're going to make it great again, as I say. We're going to make America great again, but we are joined by a lot of fantastic people, a lot of great political people.
Yeah, a lot of great political people. You mean activists that work with the campaign, that basically you filled this little dump with staff? I'm not kidding. Almost everybody that's there works for him or works for the campaign. And I don't mean volunteers. I mean, these people are paid campaign staff.
And it really is an honor to have you at Doral, especially. This has been a very special place for me.
Yeah, especially what's really special about it? The ability to charge your own campaign fees to do events at your own facility so that you can make money from your own campaign again.
It's been a great success. I want to thank all of the representatives from the Doral area, because the mayor and everybody. Where's Christy? Is she around?
Where is Christy? Is she around? Where's Christy? Does anybody know where Christy might be? The woman sitting to his left that he just shook hands with and walked right past her. Does anybody have any idea where Christy is?
Let's see.
Right here.
Christy. Oh, Christy. Christy. Oh, my Christy. Boy, oh, boy.
Boy, but where have you been? I can barely see. In maroon, you kind of fade into the background of blue, white, red hats and phones. I couldn't see you there. Stuff like, it's not your fault. I don't normally notice brunettes. Dye your hair so you look more like my daughter, and then I'll never miss you.
Hi, Christy. Hi, sweetie. You've been so great. We've been so great, and we worked together for...
We've been so great. We've worked together for such a long time. It's like I kind of automatically know where you are.
A long time, right? Although she's so young, it's not that long. It can't be that long, but it is. 13 years? Wow.
Since you bought the resort?
That's pretty good, yeah, since I bought it. And you've been great. Thank you very much for everything. And...
Just pan in on her. This is what I deal with all the time. Standing right here, being a brunette, just fucking invisible. All right.
We're going to just say a few words. We're going to talk about what's happening with the election. We'll take some questions from the fake news. And
also, I don't think he actually takes any questions. I'm just saying. I haven't pre-watched this, but I saw a chunk of it earlier that involved this little moment and this guy who talks later, who leads them in prayer, and they do a laying on of hands, which is just so fucking like, dude, he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 2.5 decades. What the fuck is wrong with you?
we'll
get there.
We will get on with it. We have a great
Please do.
panel today, and I appreciate it. We have some real religious leaders. They're the most powerful ones on the panel by far, right? Right, Chrissy?
Why?
The most powerful. And
They're the most powerful because, I don't know, their flocks are dough-headed assholes? What do you mean?
And look at that gentleman. That's the biggest church I've ever seen in my life, right? When we need overflow, we use your church, and we get great people in that church, and you are.
What? Fuck you. It's the biggest church I've ever seen. And when we need overflow, we use your church. Overflow for what?
Fantastic. So I want to thank all of the people that have been supporting us for so long and so strongly. We're doing very well. The polls are looking great, and I think maybe more important than even the polls are the initial numbers are looking incredible. You know, in North Carolina, I was there, did 3 stops there actually yesterday, and
completely useless.
And one quite a way right after this horrible event happened. But in North Carolina, we have just an amazing result going on, because we were expected to maybe have 50% of the vote or 30%. Nobody knew what was going to happen. The place was, the people were wiped out. And it's some of the worst.
Otis says overflow parking. Yeah, they use the church parking lot anytime there are too many golfers. We got too many. There's just too many carts.
Hit sections, they had more people voting than they had in 2016 or in 2020. Can you believe it? Wow. Nobody expected that. They thought.
It's weird. It's almost like women are coming out in droves. Why would that be? By the way, I'm drinking coffee.
But if we got 50%, I mean,
someone was asking if I was drinking pickle juice. Not today.
See, the homes were just absolutely leveled, floated away, many of them. And
yeah, well, they leveled them and turned them into rafts. Sure.
There was death. There was death.
Was there death, though? That's what I was wondering. Just say it. You know what I mean? Try to say it in a way that you don't connect to it emotionally.
And FEMA's responded not well. The White House has done a very poor job. They should be ashamed of themselves, actually. But the people kicked in. Franklin Graham's been fantastic, and we've raised a lot of money.
No, you haven't. You haven't raised a fucking dime. And you certainly haven't given any money yourself. What's stopping you? There's a reason why he can't write a check himself to his own bullshit drop-off thing where he's handing out food and stuff. But there's nothing stopping him from writing Franklin Graham a giant check, $1 million, except that he doesn't have it. And he's an asshole.
We've raised a lot of money for the
other people's money.
The area, a lot of money, over $8 million and we've given out to various people that we know do a good job. I met some people there yesterday that were incredible. A couple of
Really? Yeah, and that's better than money. They got to meet you.
Of them said the nicest things. I think the nicest, the most beautiful things I've ever had said about me. I thought I heard everything.
What? Sorry, you show up with trucks full of aid that aren't yours. You claim that you got Starlink into the area when the government had already issued contracts to 3 different fucking companies to do internet services and cell phone service in the area while it's being rebuilt. And you had no part in all of it, and you want to let us all know how much everybody wanted to fucking blow you.
I've heard everything, good and bad, and they said...
Oh, no, you haven't, unless you've watched my show, sir, and I recommend it. By the way, don't worry, I'll send you some VHS tapes when this is all over. Think about it like a highlight reel. Fuck you.
They said the most beautiful things, so so I just want to thank them. The words were so beautiful.
Yeah, the order wasn't so beautiful. You know what I mean? Because in many ways, such a beautiful word. Fuck, often a very beautiful word. Put them in a different order, maybe not so much. Obviously, the syntax, he wasn't a big fan of.
So, Doral Mayor Christy Fraga, and thank you very much.
Fraga. Farraga.
Miami Mayor.
Hold on. Wait. Chat room, beg your pardon, if I may. Doral Mayor. Mayor Fraga. Fraga? Which sounds like a New Yorker describing yeah, there she is. She's the Christine Fraggle, a passionate advocate for the city of Doral and a proud member of the vibrant Cuban-American community for over 2 decades. Christy and her husband, Gabriel Fraga, have called Doral home, choosing it as a perfect place to raise their 6-year-old son, Gabriel Jr. With a strong educational background and a blah, blah, blah. She's passionate about empowering the youth, and she's everything and mayor of that. So, Christine Fraga.
Francis Suarez, wherever Francis is, I just saw him on television. He was on Fox, and he was saying the best things about me. And thank you for everything and the endorsement and all. Thanks a lot, Francis. You're doing a great job, too, both of you.
Lighten up, Francis.
Everybody should have mayors like this. We see some mayors. We see a lot of mayors that aren't quite as good, I will tell you, and some that aren't good at all.
Wow. Yeah. Easy there. It's not so much the criticism I mind, it's the specifics.
The mayor of Hialeah, Esteban Bobo. And you know why I love you is because he named their main street after Trump.
It goes right. It's Trump bullshit-avoid, and it crosses Epstein Alley, right? That's how you can always find Epstein Alley. There's like 6 of them in Hialeah.
Right into Hialeah, going into the track. It's Trump. So many people call me. They say, "Thank you, Mayor." They say, "I just saw the most beautiful street. It's got your..."
Yeah, that's what they say.
Name on
tears in their eyes, veins bulging in their necks, rippling muscles, big guys that normally don't cry. They see a street sign and they call you. I don't know how they got your number. I don't know why all these big, sweaty, muscle-bound men have your phone number. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Man, a smack a YMCA. We don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why these big, sweaty men who cry a lot seem to have you on speed dial. It's one day that mystery will be solved. We don't know.
And that's sort of one of the first, and I really appreciate.
Probably the last.
Appreciate it, Mayor. You've been great. Members of Congress, Maria, Elvira, Salazar, thank you. Thank you, Maria, very much.
Thank you, Maria. Which one of them is named Maria? There's 3 women sitting next to me. They could all be Marias. I'll try not to make eye contact with too many of them, but any one of them for very long. Just try to Maria, whichever Maria. Hey.
And a friend of mine for a long time, Carlos Jimenez. He's been a friend of mine for a long time.
Yeah, super. He's a real friend. That's why you can't find him, and he's sitting so far away. The depth of friendship is just overwhelming.
Where is he?
I don't know. I lose track of my best friends all the time, especially when they're in the building.
And you were also great today, Carlos. I watched you. You got up and you let him have it. You said how bad she is, how good I am. And I said, that's my Carlos. And she is bad.
Jesus.
Look, we don't need bad people. We had 4 years of bad, and when
yes, it was called the Trump administration, I believe.
Not going to have 4 more years.
Yay! Who dropped off their ballot? Somebody just said they dropped off their ballot yesterday. Yay! Thank you so much for the birthday gift.
The country can't survive it. It is amazing. Think of it.
Here we go. This is where he's like, time to divert from the regular remarks and just go on the muscle memory bullshit.
I said, where is she campaigning today, sir? She's got a day off. You got 14 days left for the presidency, and she's taking a day off. This is not what you want. This is not what you want.
Also, the idea that she's, quote unquote, taking a day off when she's doing other work as the vice president, and by the way, doing a bunch of policy shit, doing like actual things. The idea that you have to actually be running around banging fucking doors every single day it actually shows a weakness in a campaign. The fact that this asshole can't lay off, right? He can't lay off. And he's in Florida defending Florida. He shouldn't have to do that at all. He should be able to skip Florida and Texas entirely.
Want. Matt, say hello, Matt. My friend for a long time, huh?
Huh? Gates? Yeah, I don't want to say your last name because of sexual assault and birds of a feather.
A man who has been...
Is Nestor there?
Incredible. He owns Goya Foods. I eat it whenever I can.
I eat it whenever I can. Because it comes in a can, and sometimes I don't have an opener on me.
So Bob, and everyone knows him, but I think you're probably the most well-known. You know, they attacked Bob. He announced that he's in favor of Trump. And, you know, the radical left lunatics went crazy. They just went crazy. And they do things that probably are illegal. Probably.
He means boycotts.
I think it's actually illegal. They'll go after companies. They'll go after viciously. They'll never go after your oil company, but they'll go after you.
Hold on. I'm sorry. It should be illegal to not buy something because you don't like the company or the person in charge of the company?
Wouldn't stand for it either. But Bob did something that was amazing.
It's like saying, I get you. So what you're saying is that it should be illegal to not watch CBS's 60 Minutes, right? If you don't, like, all the maggots should not be allowed to avoid watching. They should have to watch it every Sunday because it's basically illegal if they boycott it and don't watch it. Sure, you know. I mean, if they don't watch it, then that's not ad rev going to the company. That seems like I don't know. Seems like a bunch of commie bullshit to me. But
you know, some people fold because they're weak. And they make a mistake in folding, because once you fold, then they go after you again and again. But
is that what it is when you fold?
Bob did it different with Goya. He was very proud of it, and he went out there and he said, "That's right. We love Trump. We love everything that they like our policies. Number one, he likes our policies. Then he got to like me."
Yeah, I don't like everything. He didn't like everything I do, you know. But I mean, he misses Epstein almost as much as I do.
But he went, and everybody thought, oh, this would be bad for his business. And his business doubled and then tripled and then, right? I made him a lot of money because we have tremendous support. And you've been just a great friend for a long time now, right? For a long time. He took some heat at the beginning, but he handled it really incredibly.
Sorry, you only started becoming friends with him when he supported you, and you did that stupid stunt with Ivanka holding up the cans of Goya, which none of you fucking eat.
And whenever I see your food as opposed to some, I eat it. It's actually quite good out of the can.
What? It's actually quite good out of the can. What are you, a fucking hobo? It's actually... Get the fuck out of here. Trump walking around with a fucking can of beans, just dry, just refried beans with a fucking spoon. Shut the fuck up. It's actually quite good. She's laughing because it's fucking ridiculous. The hard part is that a lot of the people around him don't know how to react because they think he's kidding, and then they're like, oh, he's serious, yet I am in mid-laugh.
Food as opposed to some, I eat it. It's actually quite good out of the can. We do actually travel with cans. You know, people don't know that. We do travel with cans.
What the fuck are you talking about? We actually travel with, yes. So let me tell you, on Trump Force One, when he's hitting turbulence, he's walking around with a fucking, what'd you do? Microwave a can of chicken soup and you're fucking eating it out of the, what are you talking about? What the hell? Are you eating corn giblets out of a hot can, holding a, what do you do? Like wear an oven mitt while you eat hot corn giblets? Or are you just eating them cold, you absolute asshole? None of this is true. And if it is, what the fuck? Nobody is flying cans of Goya, cans of any sort, from one place to another to eat them in the can upon arrival. What the fuck is going on? No, you don't. And nobody even, look, they're all laughing because they think it's a joke. It's, this is so fucking stupid.
Anyway, I want to thank you very much. Mario
Then do it.
Rodriguez. Mario. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Thank you, Mario. Do you want to say something, Mario? Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, Mr. President, it's amazing what you've done for the Hispanic community, and you are going to be rewarded handsomely for that.
Thank you. Well, we have.
Such as?
They've rewarded me already. You know, it actually, this love affair.
Sorry, real quick. This love affair. This sordid love affair. Me and the Latinos. And my deportation force, it'll run these fuckers out and they'll round them up and chuck them back where they came from. What the hell?
Has been going on pretty much from the beginning. Now, 2016, it was a little early, but then I started producing for them, and they produce for the country because the level of genius, entrepreneurship, energy that they have, it's an incredible community, and I liked them, and they liked me, and now they're seeing numbers that are shocking. They're seeing numbers. I saw it this morning. The anchor was almost crying. They said, "What's going on over here?" It's been a great relationship. Thanks a lot, Mario. Mercedes Schlapp, thank you, Mercedes, very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mercedes.
I guess your husband's not with us. He's over at the church overflow, handing out the Schlapp and tickle.
And a man who's really, he's got it, Pastor Ramiro Pena.
That's a rough one. That's Ramiro Pena.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Eduardo, thank you very much for being here. Big movie star from Mexico. He's done a great movie. We watched it together, Freedom, and really great. And you're doing another.
Yeah, it's just called Freedom. Yeah, you know what I mean? You don't have to say the whole title. Just Freedom. Remember the movie Freedom that you watched? Yeah.
One very soon, I think, on a similar subject. Right? That's a very sad subject, but that really did create awareness for a very tough situation. So we appreciate it very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Rick Scott's around someplace. Where's Rick? Hello, Rick. Hi, Rick.
He's the guy in the long drapey black cowl holding the sickle.
I just saw a poll. I saw two things. I saw a very nasty commercial about you, and it was false. I was going to call you, and I said maybe he's going to be there. Nasty but false commercial. Such a lie. But don't worry, I have a lot of them about me, and it hasn't affected us. But Rick is fantastic. He was a great governor, and he's a great senator.
And he is, and when it comes to defrauding Medicare and Medicaid, nobody does it better.
He's a great senator, and the good news is I saw a poll, and you're really doing great. So you're doing really fantastic, Rick. But,
fantastic.
Just keep it going. So this election is a choice between whether we will.
Oh dear God! Now he's reading.
Have 4 more years of total failure because what's going on now. We are a nation in decline.
Yes, I know. I don't know how much more decline we can decline. I decline to even say how much decline we're in. But nobody can watch sporting events anymore because it's just too sad. You know what I mean? Where they're running around and like the World Series is going to be played in flip-flops and everybody's going to wear a straw hat. It's so sad.
Failing nation. We're laughed at all over the world. No matter where you go, they laugh at us. They can't even believe what's happening. And I'll tell you what, she's worse than he is. And they do lie. I was just saying to Rick, the lies.
Were you? You were just saying to Rick? When was that?
They say the exact, I'll have like 10 different things where I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Everybody knows it. The media knows it. They do nothing to change it. And then they come out with a commercial saying exactly the opposite. I mean, things like, I'm in favor of, or let's say they even said.
Oh, wait. Okay. Sorry. He gets this confused. Listen to this. This is him fucking up. He doesn't know whether what their message about him You'll see. Like, he doesn't know whether she's saying he's for something or against something. That there's allegedly an ad now that he's against fracking or something like that. And I think what he might be thinking of is like the either Midas Touch or the Lincoln Project making their frack Affleck ad about him just being a complete asshole. By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. The greatest live stream in the history of live streams. You're welcome. And we continue.
I'm in favor of, or let's say they even say it differently, I'm against fracking. That's the first time I've ever heard it.
Yeah, because it just happened in your fucking head, you weirdo.
Trump is against fracking. They do things that is just, and she's against fracking, but now she says she's for it. So I've had Hillary, I've had Sleepy Joe, I've had...
Again, honest to God, nobody knows what the ever-loving fuck he's talking about. Least of all him. Hold on one second. I'm trying to find something real quick. Cromert, that's what it is. Here's a song. Cromert. I'm trying to find yeah, where is it? Hold on. Oh, it'll be on YouTube, I think. Give me 1 second. I'm looking something up. Let me get this. What in the world is wrong with you? You strange thing. Okay, hold on. YouTube, go there. There we go. We truly are a nation in decline. Everything sucks. My big fat behind. No one loves you. Everything is sad. America in decline. Everything is so bad. Why? Oh, why? Oh, why? Oh, why? Oh, it sucks to be in America. Oh, America. Why do you suck so bad? I blame Joe Biden and Kamala and nobody knows Harris. I try to blame it on Harris, but they blame me instead. Oh, yeah. Whoa. All right. I'm sorry. This is very upsetting. All right.
A lot of people that I've run against now. And, you know, on a different scale, I work with senators and trying to get them elected. We're doing very well. The Republicans, I think we could end up, I don't want to use numbers, but we could end up surprisingly good, right, Rick? It could be a number that people would be shocked at if you would have said it even 2 months ago. And I'm helping all of them, every one of them. We had some great results. We've had some results that are really surprising.
So good.
But this is the one. This woman is the worst.
This woman,
the lying. It's just unbelievable.
lying.
Like
it's terrible.
The IVF, the fertilization.
Oh no, not the
totally in favor of it right from the beginning. She said I'm against it. Carlos, she goes, he's totally against it.
She said, how could you say that?
Item that having to do with energy, having to do with everything, and it just and then she's got that the worst governor in the country, probably
The worst.
I think
Oh,
she made
it's
a
terrible.
horrible mistake. We'll see what happens on November
it's probably going to
5th.
be awful,
Let's see
whatever
what
it is.
happens. But there's something wrong with him, honestly.
It's
There's
something
something wrong. And there's something
so
wrong with
wrong.
her, too. She's
Something's so
slow,
wrong.
Low IQ, something.
She
I don't
is.
know what the hell it is, but they lied. I've never. We
Nobody knows.
don't need another low IQ
No,
person.
we don't.
We had one for 4 years. We don't need another one.
No.
But I mean, crooked Hillary lied, but she didn't do it like this.
No, she didn't do it
She
like
wouldn't
this.
take things that were so
would
obvious.
take
and
things-
just say
no.
the opposite. They say the exact
No, just the opposite.
And as you
Yeah.
know, there are
I
15
do.
different elements of policy.
Yeah,
that
15.
She changed.
He's just a liar.
In favor
Won't
of
say them.
sex changes for prisoners at their
Oh,
will,
it's a-
paid
well,
for by the government.
Yeah, and then
And
they'll
now she says,
and they'll even
"Yeah,
come.
okay."
They'll even, if you want, they'll come back. Like if you decide later you regret it, they'll put your penis back. She's for this. How is she for this?
That would be a good idea. She was
It would be a good
when
idea.
you talk about fracking, she said no fracking
Yeah.
under. I mean, we have
No.
25 commercials. We put
Yeah.
sometimes we put them on simultaneously.
Spent all these ads, all this money on ads, and what happened? What happened? Then she comes out for it. What are these ads good for? Nothing. It's terrible.
She's just, and now all of a sudden, I love fracking. I think it's wonderful.
Oh, I love bracket. Like we're gonna buy that, lady. Okay, we don't buy it.
Although today, though, it came out, they had a bad thing come out today.
It was terrible. The thing that came out.
People said she's essentially against fracking. And
Yeah, her people came out and said it, and she didn't even hear it. And they said it, and she basically today earlier, when nothing was happening, they said this.
It's very interesting when that came out.
It's so interesting.
It
It's so fucking interesting.
sort of a big story. One of her top people
Was
said that because
Huge.
that's where they are.
Yeah, one of her top people said this, and then what happened? Then what happened? Did it become big news? One of her top people said it. One of like the top of the top people, like 3 or 7 or the top 25. I don't know.
Rick, that's where they are. They're against fracking. They're never gonna, and they're against anything having to do with what's under the ground. And that's what Germany just went through.
They are anything, worms, the zombie uprisings, anything that's under the ground. They hate the roots of trees and grass. Anything that's under the ground, they're like, fuck that. She's anti-cemetery. Anything that's under the ground. That's what she's against.
With what's under the ground, and
Yeah, she fucking hates that.
and they're against anything having to do with what's under the ground, and that's what.
You mean hell? Yeah. Okay. Hell is under the ground. It's below us. Okay. Heaven above. Hell is below. Yeah. You think we're against that? Ask one of the pastors there if he's for it. Is he for hell? Okay, then fine.
Germany just went through it. They almost destroyed themselves. They went into a situation where they were putting windmills all over the place, and the wind wasn't blowing so much. And if they kept that process going, Germany would right now be bust. That's I guess one of the primary reasons that Angela's not there anymore. They tried it. They had solar. They had solar fields that's so
Yeah, she lost her job because of windmills.
big. I mean, I saw a solar field come, and I'm in favor of solar, but it's not the same thing. It's got to fire up these massive plants. It's not going to. But I saw a solar field the other day that looked like it took up half the desert.
Yeah, and that's perfectly good desert. I mean, think of all the crops we could be growing there instead, or perhaps children's playgrounds. There's so much we could do with that land. Just move the scorpions and put a roof on the place, I guess.
I'd never saw anything like it. It's all steel and glass and wires, and it looks like hell. And you.
Yeah, it's to get rid of all that smooth desert. Yeah.
See rabbits, they get caught in it, and for the.
Desert rabbits. Yeah, it's killing all the desert rabbits. And you know why? Because they're hiding from the bald eagles that are avoiding the windmills so they don't get cancer, and they fly to the desert and they're like, oh, a rabbit, and then the rabbit hides under the solar panel and it focuses the sun and cooks the rabbit, which makes it not only delicious but slightly smaller.
The environmentalists, it's just terrible. I like, some applications where you have it on a roof or you have it on something, but
yeah, a roof or something, a hat maybe, those panels that you put on the front where you can charge your phone while you're walking around.
But I'm looking at solar fields that are like miles and miles of just, and what it does to your desert areas or the areas that you're putting, it's just crazy. We have stuff right under the ground. Natural gas. We have.
Yeah, and you know what? No, I think everybody looks at an oil rig and goes, look at that. That's fucking gorgeous. Sure beats the shit out of a bunch of solar panels in a desert. What? Sorry. So you would prefer oil rigs in the Montana wilderness more so than solar panels in deserts where no one goes. All right. Okay. Just to clarify.
Things that we had the cleanest air that we've ever had during my administration. And
yeah, thanks, COVID.
yet we also had more jobs, more productivity.
No, that was the trade-off. Yeah, the reason you had the cleanest air was because the world had the cleanest air because all flights stopped.
We had the best numbers we've ever had. We had the lowest taxes we paid in
No, we haven't.
So we're in a race, and we're in a race with some very sick people. They're liars. They just lie. They lie about everything. And
oh yeah, like what? I mean, it's pretty vague. I would say everything.
I was going to hit her really hard on the trail today, but now I don't have to because she's off. She's off.
You're. What do you mean? What do you mean? You got to react to what she says today as opposed to other stuff? What do you mean she's off? What, you were going to hit her really hard on the trail? What are you going to do? Run her fucking bus off the road like it's Texas?
No, I can't get over it. Who the hell takes off? You have 14 days left, and she'll take a couple of more days off too. You know why? She's lazy as hell, and she's got that reputation. She's
yeah, no. I'm sorry. The dude who was golfing with like a mega donor, most of his the money he's making for his campaign right now comes from people that have like a triple $1 million net worth, and he golfs with them, and he doesn't even do fucking 18 holes. He does like 7 and blows off the rest of it and goes and have a fucking burger.
She's a radical left lunatic. She's further left than Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas. Now Pocahontas, because I think is Pocahontas further left than Bernie? Just about, right? It's close. It's close. Who the hell cares, right? Rick says, I don't know. But they're out there. But she's furthest left. We can't have a person. She's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor. By the way, the fake news, look at all of them. Where is the father we should interview? Because I'd find.
She's a 60-year-old woman. I don't need to know what her parents think. Your mother hated you. She thought she was raising Hitler.
I find it interesting to see what he has to say. He's, I don't know.
Why? Why don't you just read his paper on Marxism along with his other papers about every other form of economics, because he's an economics professor.
They seem to have a problem, but it would be nice to interview the father. He's a Marxist professor. And I think that's okay. That's good, fine. But I think it's appropriate that the father be interviewed by the fake news. They don't want to interview him, and I wonder why.
Because she's an adult? I mean, I think that would be the primary one.
If we had a real press in this country, this wouldn't even be a race. And I'm not sure it is a race anyway.
You're right. You wouldn't even be in this. If we had a real press, they would have shut you down while you were still on The Apprentice for being buddies with fucking Jeffrey Epstein for 2 decades. If we had a real press.
They just came out with the Atlanta Constitution. Just came out with a poll that we're 5 up in Georgia. We're up and let's see what happens, because it all doesn't matter, because, you know, bad things happen. Some very, very bad things happened last time. And but this time we don't have COVID, and it's going to be a lot harder for them to do bad things. So we're going to see. We have tremendous people. We have a lot of lawyers working. We have lawyers working, numbers of lawyers that nobody's ever seen before, because we're not going to play games. Because
yeah, you know, by the way, you know what his lawyers are going to do?
we're going to lose.
You know what his lawyers are going to do? They're going to stand there and watch him lose. Just like all of his asshole, election watchers that they're having on the Republican side. You know what those assholes are going to do? They're going to sit there and watch piles and piles of votes come in for her. And they're going to go, what the fuck is happening? How is Trump losing this badly? That's what's going to happen.
Lose our country. Our country's failing. We don't know what we're doing.
Yes, it's true. Our country is failing. Why is it so bad? Oh, why is it so failing badly? Nation in decline.
We're laughed at all over the world.
That's because whenever he calls one of these leaders, they laugh and hang up.
President Xi thinks we're stupid.
Yes, but on the one hand, he means you, and on the other hand, he himself is stupid.
Putin thinks we're stupid. That would have.
Mm-hmm. That would have never happened. Tell us the story what you told the Wall Street Journal. Mm-hmm. About how you threatened to nuke Moscow.
Never happened. Putin, if I were president, Putin would have never, ever gone into Ukraine. Now we have
For those of you who don't know, he told the Wall Street Journal that he was going to nuke frickin' Moscow, that he would bomb Moscow if they attacked Ukraine. And needless to say, no, he didn't.
Number of dead people that's so much greater than what they say. They knocked down an apartment house that's 2 blocks long. They're big buildings in Ukraine, 2 blocks long and 20 stories high, and they say one person was slightly injured. No, many people were killed when they did that.
They do evacuate places. You are aware of that, right? You do know that they are capable of evacuating human beings from that area, that they don't just, I don't know, maybe you would, but they actually tell their citizens to flee.
And these towns and cities all over Ukraine are knocked down. Millions of people. I mean, when you look at the total number of dead from that war, and it would have never happened, should have never happened. There was zero chance. His energy policy also helped it happen, because he drove energy through the roof, because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And if you look at now, Israel, October 7th, that would have never happened. But
oh, by the way, what he means there is that Putin made money off of the price of oil going up after COVID, when the whole world came back online and people were using fuel again, and everybody was fighting to get access to fuel as the economy started up again, and the price of oil and gas and other stuff rose precipitously as people started moving again. And apparently the world coming out of lockdown gave Russia a bunch of money, so that they were like, hey, what a great idea. Why don't we just attack Ukraine? Which apparently, I guess they should have waited a year until they had accumulated more money, because they're doing shitty and they've lost, 800,000 soldiers.
But if Bibi Netanyahu followed the plan of Biden, he didn't want him to do anything. And a bad thing happened today. You probably heard. Now,
yeah, the bad thing. Remember the bad thing? I don't know. Sorry, I missed that bad thing when I was thinking about the other bad thing that they said that was a bad thing that should have come out that wasn't covered.
Press isn't covering it very much, which is just incredible.
It is incredible. What was the bad thing?
Possibly our Defense Department or somebody. Anyway, it was leaked. The entire military plan of Israel. The military plan.
Right.
The plans they have at the highest level, it was leaked. Highly.
Also, by the way, maggots are going to do what maggots are going to do. Hold on. Let's see. DOD leak of Israel war plans, I guess, will be the primary one. Now, was it their plan? Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Scroll this down. Boom. Okay, here it is. This would be, let's see if I can scroll this down for you. I don't know, maybe later. This is what he's referring to, by the way, and I think this is kind of crucial. The FBI announced Tuesday it is investigating an alleged leak of highly classified. By the way, this is in the mainstream news and is all over the place. Yeah, but this is the story. The entire military plan of Israel announced Tuesday it is investigating an alleged leak of highly classified U.S. intelligence documents days after assessments containing information about Israel's potential plans for a retaliatory attack on Iran were published on an Iran-linked Telegram account. The FBI is investigating the alleged leak of classified documents, working closely with our partners in the Department of Defense and intelligence community. As this is an ongoing investigation, we have no further comment. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby told reporters Monday that it is unclear whether the documents were made public through a leak or a hack. He said the government does not expect additional classified information to be made public without authorization. Earlier this month, Iran fired a barrage of nearly 200 ballistic missiles. Kirby said Monday President Joe Biden is deeply concerned about any leak of classified documents. Hey, what do you think the odds are that these are older documents and that they may have ended up, I don't know, photocopied at Mar-a-Lago at some point? That is not supposed to happen. It's unacceptable when it does, and you can rest assured that he will be actively monitoring the progress of investigation efforts. Said Biden administration has been in communication with the Israeli government about the disclosure. The intelligence assessment shows the U.S. government believes, and this is again, is it their plan? No, it's what the U.S. government has assessed as their plan. Is preparing a major strike against Iran that would be retaliation for a massive Iranian ballistic missile attack on October 1st. The Biden administration has urged them to carry out only a limited response. U.S. officials have been pushing Netanyahu to focus on Iranian military targets, not Iran's energy infrastructure sites related to its nuclear program, which would be far more sensitive. Any attack on Iran's oil facilities could also roil the election by creating a spike in energy prices. The leaked assessment focused on U.S. observations of Israeli airfield activity on Tuesday and Wednesday of last week that it said it were consistent with exercises to engage in long-range strikes that involve air-to-air refueling, something that would be necessary if Israeli fighter jets were to launch strikes on Iran. Is it Israel's plan? No. Is it the U.S.'s potential beliefs about said plan that they might be doing it? Perhaps. Is it something that they would think no matter what if Israel was running those same exercises? Yeah. Okay.
Confidential information. It was leaked by our somebody. They have no idea who did it.
Our somebody.
Can you imagine you're fighting a war and you have your Americans, Carlos, can you imagine anything like that? Did you hear this? You know, they leaked all the information about the way that Israel's going to fight and how.
No, it's not. It's our assessment. Whatever the leak was, it was not their actual plans. It was what we think their plans might be, kind of different.
They're going to fight and where they're going to go. And somebody, who did that? Can you imagine?
Gee whiz, I don't know.
Somebody doing that?
I don't know. It sounds like somebody you left in there.
That's the enemy. I guess that maybe is the enemy from within. As I talk about, we have an enemy from within. They hate.
Yeah, it's like when you, after a piece of your teleprompter hit you in the ear in Butler, Pennsylvania, and you went fight, 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 and it turned out the person you were yelling fight, fight, fight about was a registered Republican.
To talk about it, but could you imagine? Could you imagine? Mm-hmm. So we just can't stand for this incompetence anymore. We are an incompetently run country. We're led by a man that, first of all, look, I'm not a fan of his.
This is the 14 million votes, and he should have, and it was a coup, and
but
yada yada.
What they did to him was incredible. He had 14 million votes. He won the primary fair and square. He had 14 million votes, and they came to.
Yeah, she's his running mate, and she's the vice president. And unlike you guys, we don't jettison or attempt to murder our vice presidents.
They said he had a bad debate. He didn't do well, and his numbers went down, but I think he would do, probably in the end, he might do better than her because she's more incompetent than he is. I think she's grossly incompetent. And
again, based on what? This is so weird. Like, I get it. I get that he's got to run on something. But, yeah. But this is such weak sauce.
I don't want to be nice about it because we can't take a chance. Nobody knows who she is. You say Harris. Her name is Harris. Who the hell?
Yeah.
Hell is Harris?
She's the sitting vice president of the United States, Grandpa.
Nobody, even political people don't know. Rick Scott has no idea who the hell Harris is. No, people don't know who
Is he currently being denied oxygen?
Harris is. But now they're finding out that she's a radical left lunatic, and we.
Are they finally? They're finally finding out? Shit, they better figure it out quickly. She's only got a couple of weeks left.
We can't take a chance on losing this election, because if we lose this election,
you're going to.
We may not have a country anymore. We may not. We never.
Well, in all fairness, listen to the guy. When he says, if we lose this election, we may not have a country anymore, he means him and his family. He may have to flee the country to avoid jail time. And that's as close as you can get to being a man without a country. He might have to buy, I don't know, citizenship in Cyprus like everybody else.
And I've heard this from a lot of very smart people that are very straight down the middle. They say, we may never have an election again in this country.
Yeah, they're talking about you.
This is where we're going. I used to say that if we don't do something, we all know what's happened with Venezuela. This was 20 years ago, one of the great countries of the world, and now it's troubled, to put it mildly. And I said it would be Venezuela on steroids, meaning a bigger version. That can happen.
I see. It would be a bigger version. That's what on steroids means. So thicker.
Who would think it can happen? But I see it because I see the people that we deal with. Mm-hmm. And these people they don't love our country. They don't love our country. And we're going to do something about it, but we have to win the election. So, when they get up and they lie about every single thing, they tell you, they know your position. And in my case, it's been my position for many years. One of the people said...
Wait a minute, you mean being pro-choice or...
The other night on television, he's a great guy, Jesse Waters. He said, whether you like Trump or not, his position's been the same for 30 years. I mean, it's been the same. I want strong borders. I don't want foreign countries to rip us. Oh,
no. Longer than that. He's been a racist his entire adult life. I mean, look at the Central Park Five. Look at him and his dad not renting to black people. Like, that's been pretty consistent. Being anti-immigrant because you're a racist doesn't get you any fucking points. And being against immigration because you're racist specifically. And by the way, don't let this like sitting in with this group make you think that he thinks they're equal. All of the folks that are at this gathering view themselves as white. You ever see that non-white Hispanic stuff or whatever? Yeah, these people do not check that box. They consider themselves white as well. They're about as brown as Ted Cruz, Canadian-born Ted Cruz, right? Having a Spanish last name or a Spanish-sounding last name is not the same as being somebody who walks from fucking Guatemala to try and cross the border to get a job picking strawberries. And these people are the ones who got in and want to pull the ladder up after themselves.
Max. We're being ripped off by everybody, and our friends do it worse than our enemies. It's incredible. We had that very well going, and
we did have that very well going. By the way, thoughts and prayers to the Spanish interpreter who is having to do this event. If you start feeling woozy and smelling almonds, it's not your fault.
Did a good job on.
There is no way to translate this gibberish into any other language but gibberish.
But we're going to do the ultimate job. We're going to bring a lot of those jobs back. I think we're going to bring more than we lost back, and it's going to happen very fast.
Why? When the future is automation, why? Again, what are you going to do? Pack up one of those fucking car plants in Mexico your friend builds that has like 9 human beings working in it and is completely automated and the whole thing works when you throw a switch? You're going to move that to what? Michigan? So it'll have 3 jobs instead of 9 and it just draws from the power grid?
Intelligent taxation, tariffs, and incentives. And you're going to have companies pouring into our country, and they're going to be very happy. I think that's why I'm doing so well in Michigan. That's why the auto workers like Trump so much. Their union head is a stiff. He's a total stiff. He has no clue. He wants to go all electric, and all electric cars.
Look at this dude. Like, this guy fixes his tie the entire time, and he's just in charge of shaking his head and doing, I guess, the weird, I guess it's the New World Order vagina. Is that the Illuminati vagina that they all do in front of their crotch? That's what they called it when Obama did it. When Trump does it, for some reason, it's just, something to do with your hands.
They want to have all electric cars, and they're wonderful. I think they're great. They have an application, but we want gasoline-propelled cars. We want...
No, we do not. No. We internal combustion engines is what you're talking about. These things are not propelled by fucking gas. You asshole. Propulsion would mean that you have a jet on the back of the car that burns gasoline. It's not propelled at all. As a matter of fact, it pushes the pistons out, and that energy is translated. That mechanical energy is translated into other movement in the vehicle that turns the wheels that go a different direction than the fucking pistons themselves, which go perpendicular to the fucking wheels. You do realize that. It doesn't chug like this, you fucking weirdo. It's not gas propulsion, idiot.
Hybrids. We don't want hydrogen max.
Yeah, hybrids. What is that? Hemp bread? Hybrids? Hybrids. This motherfucker.
We want gasoline-propelled cars. We want hybrids. We don't want...
We do not want hybrid, and we do not want gasoline-propelled cars. I don't need a fruitcake made with pot gummies, you absolute tit.
Hydrogen, Max, because they blow up and you are no longer recognizable, Max. This guy owns more gas.
Also, has this asshole ever seen one of the lithium-ion battery fires? Has he ever seen a fucking 80s movie where somebody shoots the gas tank on a car?
Stations and any guy. He owns so many gas stations, he doesn't know what to do with them, right?
Gee, I wonder why he'd be against other forms of fuel, especially renewable ones.
And he's a great American, too, by the way. He's...
Yeah, so I'm sure he's, because America's hurting, he's lowering the cost of gas to help, his fellow Americans, right? I'm sure he's charging lower than his competitors, even though he's making a healthy profit, to guarantee that, the working people of America can use his gas station. No, he's not doing that at all. Weird.
Started with nothing, and he's a very successful man. He's a great man. So I just want to thank
old what's his name?
So I just want to thank you all. We can't play games with these people. These are people that are dangerous people. And again,
dangerous games.
Hillary and Biden. Now, Biden didn't tell the truth very much, but he was much better than this one. This one is just an outright, I've never seen anything like it. Point after point after point, and then they do ads and they just say this stuff. And I just wonder, I hope the public is understanding it. I hope, because I found the public to be amazingly smart. They get it. I found it to be amazing that they get
Have you, though?
it. But the level of lying is just incredible.
Well, then why worry about it?
Well, I mean, to a point where I can't even imagine it's legal.
Wait a minute. He's not about to make the case that it should be illegal to lie about your opponent in a political race, right?
I was asking some of these lawyers, some of the top guys, I said, can they absolutely, 2 weeks before an election, go out and do an ad where every one of your policies are the exact opposite? Isn't that election interference, and isn't that fraud? And isn't there a court that can do something about that? But
if there was, you'd be in jail. What the fuck? Dude, you keep calling her a Marxist. Like, that'd be cut and dry. You do you want to do 90 days for every day you called her a Marxist? For every incident, you fucking weirdo?
the end result is, we can talk about it here and people can listen and they understand it. And I think.
Oh, yeah, they probably are. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
They understand it. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go around, take a couple of questions,
Yes.
and have a little fun, okay? It's an honor to be with everybody, and especially this great Hispanic community. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
How much you care about the Latino
Okay.
my dad. But
So
and we
they-
care, like America, who owns many.
A lot of it is just.
Interest rates with banks.
By the way, they basically go around and kiss his ass. So the whole thing is just everybody going, the things were so great under you, and now they're terrible, and you look marvelous. Let me tell you, darling, many people, while Joe Biden is president, I'm in my own personal hell, don't forget. And now we will get you president again, and then you will, basically, the Lord Almighty will make the sunshine out of your ass, and if you point your ass at the solar panels, they will be overwhelmed from the solar energy and explode, and with such an explosion that it will bring all the rabbits back to life.
8 charging stations up in the Midwest.
Okay, he has 8 charging stations, cost him $9 billion.
West someplace. They spent $9 billion.
Okay, so the pilot program on a piece of technology, $9 billion. Charging stations don't cost $9 billion. Setting up a charging station and finding out what would happen if a fire broke out, or if if the speed chargers overcharge some of the batteries and they heat up and that can cause a fire and all this stuff. Like piloting this stuff is what you spend all the money on. Once you figure it out, then they're cheaper to make, and you can make a lot of them. It's so fucking weird.
I kid you not.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're an asshole. Everything is expensive when it first starts. By the way, does this asshole think that gas stations naturally popped up, that the government didn't subsidize all of them?
You know what that is? A charging station is like a gas pump. It's the equivalent of a gas pump.